Hey community, it's Ruth, and welcome to my Perfect Peace community where we find peace and balance in a world of chaos. And if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and share because I want to hear from you. Hit that subscribe button. All right, community, I am here with the great Cindi Sullivan. She is the executive director and president of TreesLouisville, and she has a vast number of years of experience in horticulture and agriculture. And I am so honored to have her here with me today.
It is my pleasure, Ruth.
Okay, I've read a lot about you, and I mean, there's a lot out there
Oh.
of I know your many years on TV and radio, and it's just awesome. But one of the things that I didn't see was what actually sparked your interest in agriculture.
I think that every human being has a connection with plants, right? We all rely on plants for food, shelter, all of those things for all time, right? So there's a people-plant connection between everyone. I think some of us just feel it a little bit more strongly than others, and I am one of those people-plant people. My earliest memories were helping my dad in the garden, loved to get my hands in the soil. I just have always had that connection, and I decided I wanted to pursue that as a profession, so I majored in horticulture.
And you know, it's so interesting because my next question was going to be who helped to nurture that in you, that passion?
So my dad, for sure. He was a great gardener, flowers and vegetables, and was very knowledgeable about lots of that kind of stuff. Was always quizzing me, and my family is very connected to the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture. My mom worked there for 61 years.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. So it is. So I was kind of raised by the College of Agriculture at UK, and so it just for a career for me, it just seemed like sort of a natural step. And then when I moved to Louisville, I met Fred Wishy.
Okay.
When I was working at Operation Brightside, and we just hit it off right away. Again, he's quizzing me about what I know, about what what I'm doing and what he did, and he became a mentor for me that really got my radio and television career sort of rolling.
So what do you think is the greatest thing that you learned from him?
Patience, I think.
Okay.
He was an extraordinarily patient man. And that is, I think, probably the best lesson that I got from him.
So can you talk a little bit about Louisville, depending upon who you're
Yeah,
talking.
I'm a Louisville.
I know. Talk about the vanishing tree canopy in Louisville.
It's very alarming. There was a study called an urban tree canopy assessment that was done using data between 2004 and 2012. That study showed that during that 8-year period, we lost in Louisville Metro, Jefferson County, the equivalent of 54,000 trees every year. That's about 820 acres. And for anybody that's familiar with Louisville, that's like 2 whole Cherokee parks gone.
Wow.
Every year. And it probably, and so that data is from 2012. It's 2019 now.
Yes.
And we feel from the data that we have done, data analysis that we've done at TreesLouisville, that decline is even steeper, that we're losing even more canopy every year now. So we need to help the community understand that a robust tree canopy has everything to do with the health of the community. It's air quality, it's water quality, it's stormwater management, it's mitigation of the urban heat island effect. And Louisville also has one of the fastest warming urban heat islands in the nation. And there are more heat-related deaths than any other weather-related events combined. And so it's a very serious problem for the health of the community. We need the shade to keep us cool and to help us have better air to breathe, and so it's a really serious problem.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you say that because I live in New Albany, and say if I'm in my husband's Jeep, and we're coming across the bridge, and it's hot in Louisville. As soon as we cross that bridge into Indiana, you can immediately feel it's cooler.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not as hot.
That's absolutely right. There's probably a 10 or 12 or maybe even 15-degree difference between the Louisville core and the outlying areas.
Yes, that is so cool. Wow.
And what's also interesting, Ruth, is that you may be familiar with the redlining practices from the 1930s.
Yes.
And in Louisville, the redlined neighborhoods now have about 22% overall tree canopy. The green line neighborhoods, they have about 49% tree canopy. And those are the same communities that have a life expectancy of 70 years in low canopy redlined areas and 83 years in the green line areas.
So it covers everything.
It's everything. It's everything.
Wow. So what continues to fuel your passion?
I think serving my community is one of the biggest things. You know, I started out at Operation Brightside when we first moved to Louisville, working for a nonprofit, doing beautification and environmental education projects, and that's really important to me, to be able to feel like I'm doing that. Then when I, kind of quit doing that and went to do the broadcasting career part of my life, I always missed that. And it's been so amazing for me to still be able to see places in Louisville where 30 years ago I did a project.
Yes.
I was at the Louisville Free Public Library main branch just a little while ago, and I was walking with a landscape architect friend of mine, and I said, I planted that tree and that tree and that tree.
Wow.
And so that's special.
Yes.
That's very special.
So in all of your busy life, because I know you're a very busy lady, how do you find balance in life?
A number of things. Okay, so I've got a husband. We've been married for 36 years.
Wow.
And so we have a great relationship. So being able to relax with my husband is amazing. I've got little doggies, of course, and they're a very special part of my life. Of course, my gardens, right?
Yes.
I mean, getting my hands in soil. I'm a very soil-oriented person, I think. So that's very important. And I love yoga. I don't think I couldn't be balanced without my yoga practice.
I'm getting ready to start yoga.
Oh,
I
good
bought
for
a book
you.
on it. Yes,
Good for
I
you.
am. I really am. So if I spoke with your husband, Steve, right?
Steve.
Okay, if I asked him to describe you, what would he say?
Oh my goodness. What would Steve say about me? Steve would say that, I don't know what he would say, Ruth. That's an interesting question. I think he would say that I'm dependable, passionate. We have something, I guess, because of my public career for so long. We have Cindy-isms, so there are Cindy things. So he would probably find some way to describe how all these Cindy things happen, because there's something about that. That's a really good question. I'm going to ask him when I get home.
Good. And then let me know what he says. Let me know what he says. Okay, now, again, you've been on TV and radio for so long. And when you're out in front, sometimes people assume that they know certain things about you. What is something that people would be surprised to know about you?
I will tell you that probably 90% of the population actually thinks that Fred Wishy was my father. I kid you not. Which is a great compliment to me, because he does have two redheaded daughters, and they're much younger than I am.
Yes.
But I think that that's probably the biggest misconception that people have about me. Fred was a friend and a colleague and a mentor, but he would not like people thinking that he was my father.
Right, like no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yes, that's a funny thing that you would ask, because that's it.
Okay. At the end of everything that you're doing in the city of Louisville and surrounding counties, what do you hope to see?
I hope that what my life's work ends up being is an inspiration to young people. I have two young people in our office that I have really high hopes for. And I've got my own children. And I just hope that that I can inspire young people to love what they do and be passionate about what they do, so that like you never have to go to work a day in your life.
Yes.
That's I have been so fortunate to be that person.
Yes. And I was going to ask you that. Do you feel like you haven't ever technically worked?
No, it's all been just a ball of fun. Back to my husband. I'll walk out the door in the morning to go to work, and he'll say, "Have fun." It's not. It's not like get a lot done at work. It's have fun, and that's what I have had the distinct advantage of being able to live my life like that.
And it shows. It does. It shows, and that's just such a wonderful thing. Yes, it shows.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I
was my
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
All right.
my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you learned something. Go plant a tree, right?
Right.
Go plant a tree. And if you haven't already, remember, like, subscribe, and share, because we want to hear from you. Tell me, are you going to go plant a tree today? Go do something and find your passion. Thanks again for watching. And remember, peace is a state of mind.